Got to get my audio together. All right, man. We in full effect. What's happening, man? What's going on? I see you. Say Clean ATL. I'm tapping in tonight. I usually don't go live, but I'm going live tonight because of some things that I got in the making. And I'm really excited about this re-entry education is really boosting up for me. Um, it's some things is happening, man. So just tap in with me, tap in with me. Uh, First of all, first announcement is January the 28th through the 29th, I am doing the Incarceration to Inspiration virtual conference. That's right. I got speakers for 2 days that's going to come in. They're going to share their story and the fields that they in. And it's, oh man, I announced it. I put it out there, and I have people that been tapping in. I've been reaching out to people, so it's coming. It's gonna come together, and I will start posting videos of the presenters that's going to be at the virtual conference. It's going to be January the 28th and the 29th. It's going to be from 2 p.m. Central Time to 9 p.m. Central Time. And we got speakers from all over in different fields that was once incarcerated. They got out. They had a plan. They stuck to it, and they doing great with their lives. That's the Incarceration to Inspiration. I was going to name it Inmate to Inspirations, but after having to talk with some people, we really was talking about the wording about inmates and how we're trying to really change the narrative of that word. So instead of using inmates, I said from incarceration to inspiration. Now, my book is titled Inmate to Inspiration. I mean, that's just what it is. I was an inmate, point blank period. That's what I was, and so that's what's going on. I appreciate everybody tapping in. This is what's going on. Y'all know my movement, man. I'm a reentry coach. I'm focused on reentry. So outside of the virtual conference that I'm going to do in January, I'm also doing the reentry support group. That's right, reentry support groups. One of the main things is getting out of prison. A lot of people don't have support groups. A lot of people don't have them people that been through them shoes, that know what they're going through and found a way to overcome and guide others to overcome them. So I'm doing the reentry support group. Them will be on Thursday nights, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 8:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 Mountain Time, 5:30 Pacific Time. If you want to be involved and you want to sign up for the reentry groups, or you know somebody that you want to put in on the reentry groups, go to the link in my bio. It's in there. You click on the link in my bio, you sign up, and you're going to be able to get in the reentry group. It's no cost at all. It's every Thursday night. We're building a reentry support community. That's the whole goal, is to build a reentry support community so we can assist and help those that's getting out of prisons, especially us that's done got out of prison. We done changed our ways. We went through some obstacles, some hurdles while trying to make a successful reentry, and we know what to expect. So I plan on the overall vision of it is to build a whole community from everybody from all over. So if you in Georgia and you're going through some reentry problems, hopefully there'll be somebody in the group from Georgia that can tell you exactly how to overcome and surpass all of that as well and what you're going through. So I'm trying to build this reentry support group. I want thousands of people in this reentry support group, because the more people that we have in these reentry support groups, then it'll be more successful, more helpful. Man, Free Dale Craig, man, what's going on, man? You say, yeah, you're going to need that getting out. There ain't nothing like getting out of prison, man, and you got somebody and a group of people that's been there and know what you're facing and know how you can overcome the obstacles that you're facing. You ain't got no ID, they can show you exactly where to go. Or you ain't got no housing, they can help you out, know the housing, the transportation, the whole nine, mentors, the whole nine. So that's what the reentry community support group that I'm building is about. It's fairly brand new, so we still building, but we need to spread the word out so we can have this community for people that's in prison on their way home, those that got out and still stuck trying to find their way, and they might be going through some things, so we could be there for each other. I mean, you got people in like POs and counselors and stuff like that, but the reality is they haven't been locked up. They ain't coming out of prison. They ain't been in the prison. They don't understand what we go through or what people go through that's getting out of prison, trying to get their life back on track and going into the same neighborhoods, going into the same environment, and how to maneuver around this. They don't understand that. They think they got a clue because they, took some courses and stuff. It's just like, who would you rather have teach you business? A teacher that ain't never ran a business or somebody that actually ran a business? This is exactly what I'm talking about with this reentry. We're going to have a community support group of people that actually been to prison, actually got out of prison, actually had to face them obstacles and they hurdled them, and they're going to give other people the game on how to hurdle them. That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? And it's important for that. That's what it's about. And that's the importance of it, to have these people, to have the community. I mean, because a PO or a counselor could tell you, but they don't know because they ain't been to that. If you want to sign up, man, click the link in my bio. It says reentry support group. All you got to do is going to take you to the landing page, send your email, and you're going to get the time, the dates, the passcode. It's no charge to you. Come in. We're going to answer questions. We're going to help you get prepared to make a successful transition. Not only a successful reentry, but we're going to build each other up and support each other so that we can never go back to prison again. That's the overall goal. That's the success part. Never going back to prison again. But it starts with that reentry. It starts with getting out, being able to locate the resources. We're going to have people coming in on the calls. There's going to tell you where the resources at in your area. This is what it's all about. And it's every Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. I'm in the Central Time Zone. I'm in Missouri. So that means if you're on the East Coast, 8:30 p.m. Thursday night. You're on the Mountain Time, 6:30. You're on the West Coast, 5:30. But we need all of y'all to build in and invite people, bring the community together, because, again, this is a community support group. This is what it's all about. Being there for one another, whether you got out of prison and you slipped and you failed and you just feel like you ain't got nobody to talk to understand what you're going through. Man, we're going to have people, trust me, man, I know I done got out of prison on several occasions, and because I wasn't prepared and I wasn't willing to get no help, and I just made criminality an option, I ended up going back to prison, from state to the feds. So I understand sometimes when you get out, you get in a position where you get a job or something, and the job ain't paying you enough, and you got fees, child support, fines, and all this stuff you gotta pay, and you just like, man, forget this. I'd rather go back to the way I was living. At least I can get some better money, can be able to take care of myself. No, criminality is not an option. There are other ways to get around that. That's what the group is about. That's what it's going to be. So that's the announcement number 2. The first announcement is January the 28th, January the 29th, the Incarceration to Inspiration Virtual Summit, virtual conference. I got a host of speakers that have been incarcerated. They got out. They're doing their thing. They won them in the financial field, credit expert. One owns a gym. I mean, I just got a lot of different people that been incarcerated, and they got out and they doing their thing. And they're going to be speaking, telling you about their story, telling you about their failures, and telling you about their success and what it took for them to get from out of prison to what they're doing now, and they're not going back and not even close to even going back. So that's what the virtual conference, that was the first announcement. The second announcement is the Thursday nights Community Reentry Support Group. That's the second announcement. I see you, Ms. Wilson. How you doing? But yeah, that's the second announcement. The third announcement is this right here. My reentry podcast. That's right. I'm finna start a reentry podcast. I'm bringing people on. We're going to talk about many different aspects of reentry, whether it's jobs, whether it's housing, whether it's transportation, documentation, mental health, physical health, parenting, communication, job skills, how to conduct yourself in interviews, technology. We're going to cover the whole everything that you're going to be faced with outside when you get released from prison. It's the Reentry Podcast. I'm coming up with a dope name from it. I ain't got it yet, but I'm going to come up with a dope name for the podcast. That's what I'm coming up on. So this is what's going on. I want to come on live, Instagram live, because I normally don't go live, but I wanted to come on live to let you know what to expect and what's coming from me. So to sign up for the Reentry Support Group, click the link on my bio. It's going to take you to a page where you can sign up for the Reentry Support Group. Also, if you haven't got my book, Inmate to Inspiration, man, been getting great reviews on the book. Order the book. The link is in the bio. Order the book. Great book, great read. Got reentry tips. If you want to give it to somebody in prison, order it. I also got a sponsor package for businesses or anybody that want to do sponsor packages. And how the sponsor packages work is you can order at least 10 books, and it's going to go to either a youth detention center, or youth detention homes, or academy schools, or they're going to go to prisons, or they're going to go to re-entry programs around the world. So I just pick out, I don't know, when I get the sponsor packages money, I send the 10 books. I send the 10 books or the 20 books or whatever to whatever. I just Google, find somewhere to send them. Boom. You know what I'm saying? And I send them to prisons, to the chaplain. Get these books out. What should be the name of the podcast? What you think the name of the podcast should be? I am supernatural. What you feel? What's the podcast? What should the podcast be? Because I've been trying to come up with a name for the podcast. So I'm really trying to figure out what it should be. But yeah, that is how the book sponsorship goes. It also gets you a spot on my website, CardellSims.com. You get a spot on my website. So when people come and look for books, they see the sponsors. They can click on the sponsors logo, takes them right to your webpage. And if they're interested in something that you got to offer, Inmate to Inspiration. Should that be the podcast? Yeah. I was thinking about naming the Inmate to Inspiration, but I want it to be something also that's going to be focusing on like re-entry and into the title. So I was going to do Inmate to Inspiration, and then when I was naming I was going to name also the upcoming virtual conference to Inmate to Inspiration, and then a lady said that and I understood her point. She was like, can we not use the word inmate because it's really a derogatory term, and we're trying to get rid of that language. And I was like, okay, I feel you, but when I was in prison, I was an inmate. That's what my ID had on, an inmate. That's how I moved as an inmate, but I understood. So I changed the name of the virtual conference instead of inmates to inspiration to incarceration, from incarceration to inspiration. So, I'm trying to figure out the podcast, but I want to, make sure that something about reentry may possibly be into it, so, but my book's titled Inmate to Inspiration. And, that's what I was. I was an inmate, and that's like saying going from the N word, like from the N word to God, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but yeah, I was an inmate. So that's why I made my book title Inmate to Inspiration. But I'm seeing now in this culture that inmate is starting to be looked at as a derogatory term and want to be called convicts, inmates. I'm from the old school. We was out there, we was convicts, inmates. You know what I'm saying? So, but I understand, so it's now just the formerly incarcerated people. That's basically what they call us, formerly incarcerated. But you're going to call people, I'm an inmate. I'm a convict. And that's that. That's just what it is. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to. I'm actually excited. Really, I'm excited because if you've been watching me, if you've been watching my journey, and you know how far I've come since I've been out of prison, and everything just been building up. The process has been going, and going. You know, and I've been getting a lot of information and advice from my mentors. Who, you know, they call me out the blue. What do you need me to do? How can I help? How can you utilize me? And I just let them know information. What should I do next? I did what you said last time. This is what I'm doing now, and and it worked. So I need what's the next layer, and I'm building layers. You know, and so hey man, I'm excited because everything is coming into play. You know, 2021. I'm excited about the conference because I reached out to people and I didn't know if they was going to reach back, was they going to accept it or not. And the journey to inspiration. I might just call it the journey. And with the journey, then with the subtitle or something, reentry. Because that's where the journey starts. The reentry is the journey. Like when you get making that transition out of prison to society, that's the start of the journey. It actually starts from the inside. Reentry starts the first day you get locked up, depending on how you apply yourself while you locked up. But once you step outside, that's when the physical journey, the steps really start. You know, so I think we got one. The journey, reentry, the reentry journey, or something. The reentry journey podcast, the journey, reentry, something like that. The journey's gonna be in out like that. So I got to find a way to put the reentry into that because I want people to know this is a reentry podcast and we're going to be addressing reentry. You know, but I can just name it the journey, and then every time I start my podcast, let them know welcome to the journey, a podcast that's about people getting out of prison and going through the reentry part of starting taking that journey, re-entering it back into society. So yeah, I think that's what it's going to be, the journey. You know, I really appreciate that. Look at it. I really look at it. That's the morning meetup family right here. And those of you tuned in, if you in one group I recommend, highly recommend, is the morning meetup. I highly recommend it. If you want to be into entrepreneurship and you stuck from job and running a business, or you might even not even got into actually getting out there and running a business, but you're thinking about it, this group, the morning meetup, you need to get in it. I'm telling you, I've been in this group for about 2.5 years. I got in this group fresh out of prison. I only thing I knew I wanted to do a business. I knew what I was going to do, but I didn't know nothing else about it. And the group, I grew friendships, brotherhoods from the group, and they've been watching my growth. And the information from this group, man, is undeniable, man. The morning meetup. All you got to do is go to themorningmeetup.com, sign up. You get the 7 days for $1 trial. I guarantee you, if you get the trial, I guarantee you're going to join the group. I watched the group go from a consistently 20 to 30 people to now a consistently 110 people every day. Grow. Entrepreneurs working together, ideas, masterminding, helping each other grow. And that's exactly what I want to do with my reentry support group. We want to mastermind. We want to help you overcome everything that you're dealing with coming out of prison. Everything that you're going to have to face coming out of prison. Just like in the morning meetup, we talk about everything you're going to face, trying to build the businesses, the pitfalls, this everything. That's how it is with my reentry support group. Every Thursday night is we are going to address everything that you're going to face in coming out of prison. I'm going to have different guests on every week talking about a specific area. That's it. Like my first guest already lined up. It's gonna be my man. It's gonna be my man Pistol. My man Peter Hustler, Michael Monroe, he was hit with the drug kingpin charge in the feds. You know what I'm saying? With the help of Obama, he got his time back and he got out. You know what I'm saying? We talking about somebody that had a kingpin. We talking about somebody that had the kingpin charge, the drug kingpin charge coming in the feds. He got hit. This is gonna be my first guest. Me and him, man. I met him in the morning meetup long time ago. This when morning meetup was called Sleepless Nights. But that's gonna be my first guest on the Journey podcast, the reentry side. You know, and that's the name of it right there. There it is, Amina. The Journey, the reentry side. There it is. Like we in effect. Yeah. So yeah, Pistol's gonna be my first guest. Peter Hustler. You can find him on Instagram, Peter Hustler. He's gonna go in there because we're gonna be talking about the money situation when you get out. We're talking about a drug kingpin. He was making at least $40,000 a week profit off drug money, over $100,000 worth of cars and everything. He was hit with the kingpin charge, sent to the feds. He did 10 and a half years and he got out. He's going to be my first guest on my podcast, and we got a name from it tonight thanks to my fam from the morning meetup, Amina at I Am Supernatural. Go follow her right now because she helped me with this name. We came up with it right now. The Journey on the reentry side podcast. Like how I said it, didn't you? The Journey on the reentry side. I see my man Kirk, the connector in here, man. The connector, what's going on? Shout out to my man Kirk. He is another member and family from the morning meetup group as well. He's the plug. You need the connection. He got it. That's his name, Kirk the Connector. So yeah. So man, it's going down. Those of y'all just tuning in, I made some special announcements tonight. 3. Number 1, January 28th, 29th, 2021. Incarceration to Inspiration Virtual Summit. 2 days. I got speakers lined up. I've been reaching out. I got speakers that made that journey from incarceration to inspiration. Different business owners. They're going to talk about credit. We're going to talk about finances. We're going to talk about their businesses and everything else. You know, yes, connect to Kurt. You need to connect to Kurt because he's the connector. You know, yeah, you got to connect to Kurt. Kurt's the connector. You know, for real. Kurt will put you in some groups and some things. Yeah, he's there for you. Connect with Kurt. You need the connections to whatever. I'm telling you, Kurt, no. You know, so that was the first one, was the Incarceration and Inspiration Virtual Conference. I'm gonna have like 7 speakers each day. I'm working on a surprise speaker in our field of getting out of prison, doing something big. I don't want to say too much about it, but hopefully things come through. I can either get him to open up or come in and give us a quick 20 minutes or something. But I'm working on it. That was the first announcement. The second announcement is I have my reentry support group. So if you know somebody that's getting out of prison, I've been out of prison, they struggling, we building a reentry support group, no cost at all, every Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 8:30 on the East, 6:30 Mountain, 5:30 on the West. You know what I'm saying? It's just a big group of people that we building. It's just getting started, so it's still growing. You know, and we are just opening up a reentry support system for people that's getting out of prison, have been there. We're gonna talk about many different topics. We're gonna have probation and parole officers in there. We're gonna have counselors. We're gonna have majority. What we're really gonna have is people that's been there in prison, got out, and overcome the obstacles that those that's getting out are gonna have to face, and we're going to help them and teach them how to maneuver and overcome them obstacles, and so that way they don't have to run into roadblocks or escape the pitfalls and things that some of us may have to go through when we first got out. So that's the second announcement, was the reentry support group every Thursday night. And my last announcement was my new podcast coming up, and we just named it tonight to my girl Amina at I Am Supernatural from my morning meetup group family. It's called The Journey on the reentry side. Hold on, I ain't do it right. It's called The Journey on the reentry side. Man, I'm so excited, man, because if those of you that have been following my journey, you can see the layers and layers and layers and layers that's been, the growth. And I just want to say, man, if you building something, understand you got to trust the process. It's gonna be frustrating times. It's gonna be times where you just want to be like, forget it, but you gotta hang in there because you can't judge your movement off what you're seeing on Instagram or whatnot. Because you're gonna have to judge your movement on where you started to where you at. And I've just been putting layers and layers and layers. You're not gonna be able, it's not gonna be big steps taken all the time. It's not. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't been taking no big steps. I've been taking minute, small steps, but it's getting me to the same destination. You understand what I'm saying? And it's working for me. It's working for me because sometimes you might get that big step and you are not ready for what comes with it. It's kind of like Popeyes. Remember they came out with the chicken sandwich and they had to take it off the market because they were smashed and they didn't have enough product for the, you know what I'm saying? They didn't have enough product. Like people was going crazy about it. I'm like, hold up, we gotta take this off the menu till we get, till we re-up. You know what I'm saying? And they wasn't ready. Exactly, Kurt. Even small steps lead to big gains. And that's what it's all about. And that's what I've been doing, And again, I'm accredited because I got my morning meetup family in here. I got to credit these steps, these knowledge to my family because I got out of prison and didn't know nothing about business, didn't know nothing about content, didn't know nothing about anything that has really to do with growing a business. I just knew I had a vision and I just knew I had a hustle. That's why I came out with Visionary Hustler. That was my name. That was my business. But as I grew, I realized even though that was my baby, I had to let that name go because what I was doing was representing me. So I changed it's Cardell Sims LLC. So now you go to my website, Cardell Sims, to tell you exactly who I am, and that one move, which I got and learned from being in the morning meetup, elevated my business to another level. And it made my business more professional. And now when you go to my website, you know exactly what I'm about. So when you hear Visionary Hustler, you just didn't know. Now when you hear Cardell Sims, oh yeah, you're talking about the reentry coach, the prison prevention mentor, the prison expert, and it's just levels to it, man. It's levels. You can't skip the levels. You skip the levels, you're going to miss out. And the thing you miss out on might be the important thing that gets you to another level further on down the road. For real. So, man, I'm excited about this, man. I appreciate y'all tapping in with me, man. Continue to tap in. You're going to see here, I'm going to start posting videos of the speakers and they stuff that's going to be participating and speaking at the Incarceration to Inspiration Virtual Summit, which will be in July. I will have more January. I will have more information and a place where you can go, sign up, get your tickets here pretty soon. I'm in the mix of putting all that together. But the reentry group, you can click on the link in my bio, sign up, and it's gonna take you to there. Tune in Thursday nights. We're gonna have people, all different colors, race, creed, from everywhere. We're gonna have it. I got Coach Love in the house, another one of my morning meetup families. Me and her have built the relationships outside of the morning meetup. Well, we stay in touch with each other. We tune in with each other on IG. And she's gonna be, I'm gonna let you know, she's gonna be one of the speakers and presenters at the Incarceration to Inspiration Virtual Summit in January. She's gonna be one of them, and I'm telling you, man, this been a journey, man. You got to love the journey, man. I always say you love the journey. And thanks to Amina, I Am Supernatural. The name of my new podcast is going to be coming. The Journey on the Reentry side. Yes. And like I said, my first guest is going to be Peter Hustle, Michael Pistol Moreau. Did 10.5 years in the feds. He was hit with the kingpin drug charge. He got the Obama pardon. Got out. You talking about somebody, and he's talking finances. He's talking about when you get out of prison and you run into that financial rut. Like, you don't get it how like you used to, And he got a good story. I'm telling you, you hear his story, man. He went from making at least $40,000 a week in profit drug money. That's money on top of the money that he's reading up with. Remember, he kingpin charge. Imagine going from making $40,000 a week in profits, got over $100,000 worth of in vehicles, to getting locked up, getting out, and going to work at McDonald's for minimum wage, $7.25. Think about that. But you know what? When you know what you own, when you know what your purpose is, when you know what you're trying to do, that don't even affect you because you got a bigger plan and you know it. That don't even bother you. That's who you used to be. You know where you're going. So that don't even bother you. But to the average person that don't have that vision, that don't have that, oh, that's a hurter. That's a heartbroken. Ain't no way. You know how many ego and pride dudes sitting in prison right now that's saying, I ain't going out there flipping no burgers, working in no McDonald's, all because they was in the streets making way more than they probably making in a month time what they were making in a year time at McDonald's. But you know what's going to happen with that mentality? I seen it happen over and over. I was a victim of it because I had the same mentality. They will get out and go right back to what they know, and criminality will be an option. And with criminality being an option, you will go back. But when you know where you're going, when you know the game plan, when you know the strategies, when you know exactly where you're going and what it's going to take, then you know how to swallow that pride. You know how to crush that ego and say, man, I'm going to have to go do this McDonald's job flipping these burgers. My man said he was on the fryer machine. He said he didn't do the grill. He said he wasn't messing with the grill. He said eventually it conquered the grill, but he was working the fryers and, the chicken nuggets and the French fries. And people used to come in there and point him out like he was an artifact because they knew him from the streets of being a drug kingpin. Now here it is later on down the road, a drug kingpin is working in McDonald's for minimum wage after having over $100,000 in cars, having to walk home from work. He's going to be the first guest on my podcast. We're going to talk about that financial struggle on the reentry side on my podcast, The Journey on the reentry side. Y'all make sure y'all tune in. Hey man, I'm happy, man. I really am. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm watching and being part of this building. And I know all the work that I've been putting in, and sometimes it didn't look like it was light at the end of the tunnel, but it didn't. I just went and got some new glasses. Like, yeah, it's a light there. I just ain't seeing it. So I went and got some new glasses, And my mentors, they've been calling me personally. And there's people that have been watching me that I didn't even know was watching, and they became book sponsors and everything else, telling me they see what I'm doing and giving me advice. And they'd call me and say, hey man, what you need me to do? And I don't want no, it ain't like I don't want no handout, but I want the game. I want the knowledge. Give me the game. The last piece of advice and game you gave me, I used it. It worked. Now what do I do next? Show me what I need to do next. And it's been working, man. So shout out Andre Norman, Dave, David Shands, Melvin Nunnery. All my mentors, Life Speaks Life. Man, I appreciate y'all because this growth process without you all wouldn't be possible. And also, I met all of them in the morning meetup. So yeah, man, continue to tap in with me. I'm going to continue to give you the knowledge, the game, give you my all. I don't want to see nobody go to prison. And, people sometimes say you in the prison reform. I'm not big in prison reform. Not against it, but I'm not big. I'm not about reforming a system that has keeping us oppressed. My job is to keep us out of that system, period. I mean, you can make the system better, but it's still the system. My job is keep you out of the system. It's kind of like what Desmond Tutu said. Desmond Tutu said, we need to just stop pulling people out of the river. We need to go upstream and figure out why they keep falling in. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out why we keep falling in so we ain't got to pull you out. If you don't fall in, we ain't got to pull you out. What's up, nephew? My nephew's on here. So yeah, that's what it's all about, man. I really appreciate you all tapping in with me. Continue to follow me. Big things is going to happen. Make sure that you be on the lookout for the Incarceration to Inspiration Virtual Summit that's going to go down at the end of January. Make sure you go to the link in my bio and sign up for the Reentry Community Support Group that we do on Thursday nights. And also be looking out for my new podcast coming called The Journey on the reentry side. Appreciate y'all tapping in. This is Cardell Sims, and I see y'all the next time I come back on live. I don't know when it be because I don't come on live that much, but I'm going to need to start coming out on live, man, and giving this game away. So y'all have a blessed night, man. I love you. Y'all be safe out there.